Hello, everyone. Jennifer Rogers here. I hope everyone is having an amazing day. I am the author of the book, The You Within, all about finding hope, purpose, in your authentic self. Today, I'm going to come on and talk about a subject that one of my viewers asked me to discuss. And the topic or the question in which we are going to speak about today is having a normal healthy relationship with a man. And I'm going to make this not about just having a normal healthy relationship with a man. I'm going to make it go both ways. So not gender specific, a man having a healthy relationship with a woman, vice versa. So what I'm going to touch on is how do I go from having all of these toxic relationships, right, where I have misaligned myself with someone that may have hurt me, drug me through the mud, left me in shambles. How do I go from that to finding a healthy, whole, and happy relationship? So for me, I have had great relationships. I've had terrible relationships, but ultimately the relationships that I had found myself in were a direct reflection and result of how I felt about myself on the inside. So until I was able to do the work, until I was able to heal the parts of me that were damaged, that basically were keeping me in this cycle, right? This loop of choosing partners that mirrored the parts of myself that I didn't want to look at. I was never going to be able to have a healthy relationship. So I began to do spiritual journeys. I began to do inner child healing, and I began to look at the parts of myself that were painful, that were ugly, that I never showed to anyone. These were the inner secret places within myself that only I really knew about, because they just weren't great. They weren't a situation that I was comfortable enough to be vulnerable enough to really share with anyone. And I would let people see some parts of myself that were broken, but there were parts of me that were so broken that I just wanted to stay in a state of avoidance of those parts of myself. So as long as I was avoiding them, I could project this image of myself. I could project that I'm happy, that I've got it all together into the world on the outside looking in. I did. But the reality was I still was carrying these wounds from past relationships, from bad decisions that I had made in my life. And ultimately, I didn't feel worthy of really having that relationship that I truly in my heart desired, because I didn't feel good about myself. So as I started to do the work on myself, the standards in what I desired for my life began to change, because I wanted something healthy. I wanted something that calmed my nervous system. I wanted to be able to sit in the presence of a man and be fully feminine. I wanted to feel safe enough to be soft. I wanted to feel safe enough to lay my armor down and say, you know what? I have these parts of myself that I am still working on putting the pieces back together on, right? And I am trusting you enough that I am going to show you these broken pieces, because I want you to truly know who I am, because now in my life, I know who I am. I know what makes me happy. I know that I can sit with myself for days and days and days and be totally at peace with my own company. And until you can get to that place with yourself, that you are totally at peace within, that you enjoy your own company, that you know what you enjoy doing, that you know what your hobbies are, that you can laugh with yourself, that you can dance with yourself, that you can sing with yourself, whatever that thing is that brings you the most joy, until you get to that place, you're not going to be able to have the truly healthy relationship that you're looking for. Now, can you align yourself with a great person and have a great relationship? Absolutely, even with those parts of yourself being unhealed. But the reality of that is that it's going to surface at some point. So how do I get to that place? How do I get to the place of, I want this healthy relationship and I want to be with a healthy man or a healthy woman? Well, you have to be healthy in order to align yourself with that. And then no one talks about how hard it is when you've been in all these toxic relationships and you get with someone that is not toxic for the first time. It doesn't feel normal and it doesn't feel comfortable because it is pushing the boundary of all of your vulnerability, of all of your safety, because you put these walls up, right? And as long as these walls are up, due to your toxic relationships, no one can penetrate that wall. So you may hurt me, but you're never going to get past this wall. So I might hurt and I might cry and I might be sad, but I will not be broken because I only allowed you to come so far. So when you get in a healthy relationship and someone is not going to allow those walls to stay up because they love you into vulnerability, they love you into being soft, they love you into wanting to give your all and be your best self. In the beginning, you will have moments where you feel like this doesn't feel safe to me because it doesn't feel comfortable, because it's not what you're used to. So it's going to be a process of having those inner conversations and sitting with yourself saying, okay, I'm feeling triggered in this moment. And why am I feeling triggered? Because is this my intuition or is this my trauma speaking? Like, where is this coming from? So when you know that you've really aligned yourself with the right person, you really have to know yourself well enough to know that this circumstance that I've found myself in, this is my trauma speaking. This is not my intuition, because I value this person, I trust this person, and I know that ultimately they have my best interest at heart. And it's also about taking your time. The first 6 months to a year of really dating someone and getting to know them, you're dating the representative. You're not dating who they really are, because it takes time to really know someone. So don't be so fast to just jump in and go dive head first, no matter how great it is. And I'm not here to tell you that there aren't people that have met once and knew that they instantly had a connection and are still married to this day, because that does happen. But when you've been burned so many times and you've made so many wrong choices in who that you date, it is a direct reflection of how you feel about yourself. So if you want to be in a healthy relationship, if you want to get with a partner that is going to help build you up, that is going to help you grow, you have to do the work on yourself. You have to go within. You have to sit in your pain. You have to sit in the parts of yourself that say, I'm not worthy of this type of love. And if you don't love yourself in the way that you want someone else to love you, how can you expect someone to love the parts of you that you don't even love? You have to love the good. You have to love the ugly. You have to love the dark, because without dark, there cannot be light. So drop the wall and allow yourself to get to sit in that part of you that you won't show anyone else. You sit in that part of yourself. You learn to love that part of yourself. You learn to get comfortable with yourself in all areas, in all ways, so that someone has to truly add value to your peace, to your joy, to your life, in order to even sit in your presence. That is when you will find the healthy relationship. That is when you will attract all that you desire. And that is when one day you're going to wake up and say, man, that journey, that work that I did on myself, it was hard and it was painful and it was lonely at times, but it was so worth it, because now I am sitting in everything that I've ever wanted. So that is my take on finding a healthy relationship and how to attract what it is that you truly want is that you got to do the work. You got to go within. You got to heal those things. You got to sit in the dark of yourself so that you can attract what it is that you desire. Because if you don't believe that you are good, you are not going to attract good. You are going to continue to attract the same things that you have attracted all of this time that has led you to where you are today. It's time to do the work. It's time to find the you within. It's time to do some spiritual journeys, facilitate some plant medicine, whatever it is that you need to get you to that place. There are so many avenues and so many outlets that will help you find the you within, the God within, and the love within. If nobody has told you today that you are worthy, you are worthy. If no one has told you today that you deserve infinite love, you deserve infinite love. If no one has told you today that you are the essence of God, you are the essence of God. And if no one has told you today that you can have everything that your heart desires, you can have everything that your heart desires. All you have to do is be willing to do the work. Be willing to do the hard thing. Be willing to sit with someone that can help you process that anger, that grief, that trauma, that disgust that you have with yourself. You are worthy. And I cannot wait to see you on the other side of that journey in light and in love and operating in your true essence because you figured out who that is. I hope you have an amazing day.